Tejas, welcome to Creator Support.
Thank
Tell us
you.
about what you make and what your problem is.
Well, I am a YouTuber that makes, I call them human nature documentaries right now. That's actually just made that up right now.
Okay,
Great.
But
all right.
I've got a lot of problems. But
Okay.
the one,
Like problems with us or
we'll get to the deep end. I'll bring those out. But right now, I'm trying to understand what the channel is, like what the vision of this channel. I think I have a vision. I'm not exactly sure what you all think of it. So I'm curious how you would define my channel. And then secondly, I think I'm doing the worst thing right now, which is uploading once a month on YouTube. And I have resources. I don't know whether to put those resources to upload more frequently, or what if I just went dark for 6 months and come back with like an 8-part docuseries? Because I did something similar a year ago and it was my favorite time ever, but it's obviously very risky.
Okay, so let's get into this. So your human nature documentaries. We gotta name these something different because that's a very weird thing to.
I think it just leaves a lot of room for interpretation, which is probably why you're even asking the question, what is the channel?
Yes.
Right.
Right? Like, can you get more specific and go deeper into human nature documentaries? Like, who are they for? What's the impact they have on the audience?
Yeah.
Human nature documentary could mean anything or nothing at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like what has been really great with you recently has been your focus on love and attractiveness. If we go to your channel and search by most popular,
Yeah.
this series was awesome. Flirting, stylist is a great one, like to make you more attractive. I mean, that's a huge performer on your channel.
Yeah. Well,
So to me, like exploring attractiveness has been a really interesting thing for you.
absolutely.
Do you feel like you have done all of it?
No.
Or do you have trepidation around being like, hey, I make videos about love and attractiveness?
A little bit of the latter. Don't want to pigeonhole myself into being the attractiveness guy, right? I think I had an incredible chapter. I also feel like it's a complete chapter.
What about the like self-worth love guy? Like, is that fine?
That's interesting to me. When I think about the channel right now, I do think like everything is about finding identity. That word kind of keeps coming up to me. Like, okay, what do people struggle with when they think about their own identity? What makes them confident about their identity? And we kind of stem from there.
So, I mean, the obvious thing, right, is like, you know, we talk about this concept of content market fit, which is what you want to make, what the audience wants to watch, and what the platform wants. And those can shift and change every year, every month as a creator. I will say just on the audience part, the audience and the platform have told you what is working. And the audience actually continues to vote for what they want. So if we just look at this 3-video stretch, the weird science of floating in complete darkness, underperformer for you. And I could have told you that before you uploaded, right? It doesn't fit into this premise of, you know, if I loved your attractiveness series, I don't know that I'm not going to take a bet on that.
This is part of like early experimentation.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
channel.
I don't regret that at all.
We did this as well, no doubt. It's like, here's a video about going to Portland. Here's one about eating pizza. Here's one about politicians. Like, we did that. It totally does not meet the audience's expectations. Like, what he's saying here is like, anyone who enjoyed Flirting 101 here, the psychology behind flirting, which a lot of people did, there's no indication, no voting saying they're going to like the weird science of floating in complete darkness.
And they have already voted, right? They also voted here of like, I don't want this from you. And then they came back here of like, no, this is exactly what I want from you. Okay, if you are searching for a format, if you're trying to figure out what it means for you to make something repeatable on your channel, we created a worksheet that gives you 4 questions and 4 filters to try and develop your repeatable format. It's totally free. Just click the link in our description, enter your email, and we will send it to you. It's a good practice to just explore how you can turn one of your ideas into a format that you can do again and again and again. All right, back to our episode with Tejas. But the first part of content market fit is you have to want to make it.
Sure.
Like, you cannot make stuff you don't. And it is scary when you find a format on YouTube and like you're like, how many variations of this can there be? And I don't know if you've done that exercise of like exploring the term attractive and writing 100 variations of it.
Yeah.
That's the exercise I would do. And going, am I excited by all these variations? Or no?
I'm excited by the format in which these videos are being made. Don't know if I'm going to be excited about another attractiveness video or like adjacent in that way.
Interesting.
But the idea of going to a expert clinical psychologist, me going through some experiment or putting my friends through an experiment, that's really exciting to me. So I almost know the format, questioning the direction and the topics.
Because this to me feels like you have found your stride in this format, right? In the like, I'm gonna open up and get a cinematic story. Like the opening of this is awesome.
Do you think you're an attractive person? Sorry, that question might have been a bit too off-putting, might have been a bit too direct, but hold on, that's not fair. It's already been 10 seconds in this video and you've already subconsciously made a decision whether you think I'm attractive or not. In fact, when you meet anyone, it's one of the first judgments you make of them. So actually, I will ask you again, do you think you're an attractive person?
Dude, what an opening. Like
so great.
you have to explore your strengths. Like that feels like I'm sitting in a theater watching a one-man show. Like very few people have the ability to command a frame for 30 seconds by themselves.
With a calm confidence.
Yeah,
Thank you.
like that, playing into this, right? And what is this? Like you are pushing us in a area that we don't talk about as a society.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this,
So taboo.
right? So the other opportunity is rather than attractiveness, do you write down every under-discussed thing that from human society?
That's the direction I've been going.
Got it.
And that was I uploaded a video yesterday about confrontation, and that was one of them, right? And I remember when we were ideating that, the first two things that came to mind is, this is wildly uncomfortable for most people, yet it's inevitable to happen. And those two created a stress where I was like, we need to explore this.
And that video doesn't start the same way as this.
No, but it's funny enough, it's a one take. I love doing a one take intro that takes.
Hey, I know this is coming out of nowhere, but I don't think this is working out anymore. I think we should break up. Something that most people struggle with is confrontation. How are we supposed to tell bad news to someone that we care about? And it's one thing if we didn't have to do it so often, but the truth is, confrontation is inevitable.
I actually think this isn't vulnerable.
No, I was about to say this is very distant, whereas the other one is very intimate
Why is this not vulnerable?
because you're acting.
And
And I can feel that you're acting here. The other one, I don't believe you're acting. I believe that's just you talking to me.
Okay.
I even think from a titling perspective, when you look at this title thumbnail, the best way to deliver bad news according to science with the thumbnail that you've chosen, I don't get the sense that you're talking about you and your relationship. It's not how I let her down or like how to let, right? Like it's not personal to you. I think it implies that, yes, you are this researcher talking about other people's problems. Whereas that first video about attractiveness, it pulls you in right away where it's like, I'm gonna look at you and talk about something that makes me uncomfortable and I know makes you uncomfortable.
Eye contact also makes people uncomfortable. So like how you open the last video, looking us in the eyes and asking us a question and suggesting that we've made a judgment on if you're attractive or not, you've brought me into an uncomfortable conversation. Whereas here I'm watching it like I've watched it in a soap opera before.
I do agree that like videos where I'm very vulnerable, I like to make, and especially the impact it feels like it makes on an audience is there. There's only so many of those stories I have, just as a human, right? So going back to that conversation of, hey, what is this show that I'm trying to do on a monthly basis versus do I keep some of those stories for maybe a big project? I only got so much archival footage. I only have so many like hard
Yeah, I
stories
think
in
that's
my life.
fine. I think you can be the facilitator of the vulnerable conversation.
What's the reason for the upload cadence? Like what's the reason you feel you have to upload more regularly versus doing like special projects?
It feels right. Right, it just feels like the thing to do on YouTube. I do think that every time I do take a hiatus like this, it does feel like videos start off really slow and that's always scary versus when I am more consistent, you can see that like kind of initial spike and knowing that the way to get past that is appointment viewing, at least one way. That's something I do want to strive for.
So Colin says this thing all the time, which is that we rarely learn from our success. And I think it's a really important thing to look at because this series you made, I mean, prior to this, you didn't have any other videos that were like
No,
this big.
this was random out there.
Well, was it random or was it really good?
Gosh, how did this? Yeah, it's a good point.
Right? Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
if you were to learn from success, if you were to go like pattern recognition, you would go, oh, investing a lot of time in a series worked before. Should I do it again? Now, the fear for you is what? Irrelevancy?
Irrelevancy and probably imposter syndrome of I did so many things accidentally correct in the series where I don't know if I could do again.
You're afraid you can't learn from this success because it was luck.
Yeah.
As time goes on as a creator, fear increases.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. I'm not going to sit here and say like, I have experienced, the only reason I can say it is because I've experienced it. That like time goes on, fear increases.
Yep.
And with the increased fear becomes like decreased ability to do the thing from before. I think like it is scary to not upload for a long period of time and go, maybe your channel goes from like, oh wow, green checks are all up to like gray.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's hard to navigate as a creator, but the next best thing to do is make great videos, not a video. Right? Does that make sense? Like this video found its way, although you did not have some extremely regular upload cadence,
No.
but it found its way.
Yeah.
And sometimes also it won't. Sometimes you will invest the time and it won't work. But the positive thing that you're doing as well is that you have most of your business happening through short form.
Correct.
Most of your brand deals are happening through short form. You actually don't even put brand deals on.
No, there's been one brand deal on a video and I was like, why am I even doing this? And it's not that I get offered brand deals on these videos, but so many of these, I just don't have to think about a deadline for a script. Like I'm
great.
just
Which is
self-imposed deadlines.
I think if you don't have financial pressure on the YouTube channel and you make docs, documentaries require access and time.
Yep.
So I would think about those two things. Like a good doc requires access, either to yourself, like being vulnerable yourself, and if it's not you, someone else. And then it takes time because they take time to develop. And that's the fun of it, is we get to watch something transform because we had access to it in a short amount of time. Have you seen the bird watching documentary?
Listers?
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
That's a really good doc on YouTube
Yeah.
that they spent a year making. That is not the thumbnail that I would have advised them to lead with but within
absolutely.
2 months.
And
they
it's
have
a new channel.
It's a new channel.
is-
Within 2 months, they almost have 2 million views. It's a 2-hour-long documentary, and the thumbnail looks like a movie poster.
There's only 4 videos on this channel.
Yeah.
And like, it's just good, right? And so it
good.
found audience.
Yeah.
And I bet you that this documentary is changing Owen's life.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And I think you know that your attractiveness series changed your life. Like it changed people's perceptions, I think, about who you are as a creator and what you make on your channel. And if you don't have upload pressure from time or money,
Yeah.
then like I would
Then
just
why?
think about like why. Like,
Then you're only doing it out of fear.
Yeah.
Then you're only making videos out of fear of not making videos.
Yeah, that's a good.
Right. And I do not want to suggest that is an easy thing to navigate. That is hard to navigate because it is scary. It's scary to lose this career.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I think we are more like, because you're making short form, like you are present on the internet. You're not absent from the internet. And then your best videos are probably being viewed on a month-to-month basis.
Yeah. That's interesting. Because I have 2 ideas where I'm like, I could spend a year on, and I think I can make it really good.
And can you make short form during that time?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that to me is like, for sure. Like,
Got it.
I think you are a quality creator, not a quantity creator. And focusing on that quality will pay dividends in the future, and then do your quantity in short form.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So let's take a look at the
A
thumbnail
good point.
that you brought in.
Yep.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this video. So it's called I Tested the Happiest Lifestyles, according to
Yeah. One of the big series that I want to work on is, I don't know the title.
Okay.
I just know I'm fascinated by the idea of like fulfillment. And this is coming out of a place of privilege. Like I live in New York City, which is the dream to so many people, but I'm often finding myself wanting to escape New York City. And it is kind of to test this like grass is always greener element. So I'm so curious, how does someone who lives on a farm, are they happier? Are they more fulfilling? Or are they living a more fulfilling life versus someone that lives in New York? And then I thought about, this could just be an interesting thing to go from like, Los Angeles versus New York, or Europe versus America, or like it kind of becomes this versus thing, all with this like B plot of trying to find the variables that actually give people fulfillment.
Do you know the story of the fisherman and the banker?
No.
It's like an age-old story, but like what I see is you playing out this story. So there's a story of a fisherman who, basically fishes every day, and he's done by 4 p.m. And at 4 p.m. he goes home and has dinner with his family and like really enjoys his life. And a banker comes and looks at what the fisherman's doing and is like, "Man, this is really interesting. Do you know you could buy another boat and train another fisherman, and then you could get more fish. And then maybe you could have a fleet of boats, and I could invest in this, and we could build a whole fishing company, and you could make a lot of money." And the fisherman goes, "Okay, cool. And then what I do?" And the banker's like, "Well, then you would have all the time in the world to just fish for enjoyment and spend time with your family."
Which is
what he's doing.
Yeah.
So to me, I think like telling that story up top and then living out that.
Exactly.
Because like what I think about your channel, again, if we go back to like Taboo, happiness to me doesn't feel like
a taboo conversation, yeah.
right? Or like fulfillment doesn't feel
Yeah, I'm struggling with that word.
taboo.
For this. Yeah,
And so I would start to write out like money is very taboo.
totally.
The desire of money is taboo.
Yep.
Attractiveness is taboo. And I think like exploring where does the taboo feeling come in here? Why am I uncomfortable reading this title?
Yeah.
My immediate reaction when I look at this is money and no money.
Yeah.
So is there something to like, I lived on a farmer's salary? Or like, do you know what I mean? Is there something more?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And obviously the story inside of it is about fulfillment.
Exactly, yeah.
Money is the more taboo way to get into that.
Totally.
The concept, I think one of the things that I've struggled with is like wanting to say something that is kind of very highbrow, but having to package it in a very simple form.
Totally.
And that's just the reality of your expectations of how many people watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could just be really on the nose, and maybe that ends up being 10,000 people who want to watch it. But those are 10,000 really qualified people. But if your expectation is in the millions, then I think
You have to play the game.
you do have to open up to say something really simple. And the simplest things are money, love, and then inside the story you can
Yeah.
do more. Like actually the story isn't about money, it's about fulfillment.
Exactly.
Right? And like I think that's where you can as a storyteller navigate
Yeah.
us through that.
That's going back to the very top, it's like, that's the vision. Like I feel the most valuable when I know that this story actually takes a turn and it's something deeply human.
Yeah.
And it's actually something I couldn't write without experiencing
Mhm.
and knowing that this was very authentically just experienced. I couldn't have predicted this is where the story went. And that's actually what makes it so human.
It is an interesting concept. Now this zooms out to me and goes like, is this interesting enough for a video? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right.
And I
Or-
think that's part of the risk of doing this on YouTube.
Or is it a short?
Right?
Right? And like keeping the push.
Tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Keeping the push of like, my videos are 4-part series about really
Yep.
taboo human topics.
Yeah.
So is this one of those or not? But I still want to make it. Okay, cool. It's a short.
Or is this a B plot within?
A bigger thing.
Within a
The
bigger
story. I often think
You know what I mean? Like it's not the title thumbnail, but it's the B plot to one of the episodes about money.
I always think about Nathan Fielder.
Yeah.
Like the rehearsal where like I've always wanted to make a video about like intimacy coordinators. And I remember watching the rehearsal part 2 and he does it. Like
Yeah.
there's an episode
Yeah,
where and I'm like, how did he go from like airplane
Mhm.
fatalities
Yes.
into this? And he's so good at just like taking you on that journey. I love that.
You're talking about inspiration from a show that took years to make.
Yeah.
Right. And so like if that is what inspires you, then I couldn't feel stronger about pause, make stuff you're really proud of.
That is the thing that
Yeah.
excites me the most. He's one of the greatest storytellers.
So you brought in a comment and I wanted you to read this to us
Totally.
and tell us why this matters to you.
Yeah, I received this Instagram DM and I started this off with saying like, I don't really know what my vision is. And I think she explained it so well and I've been really thinking about it. I never really send/respond to people I don't know, but you have a gift which I'm sure took a lot of work to hone. at embodying and verbalizing human experiences that we assume are uniquely private. When I watch your videos, listen to your description of experiences I've always irrationally felt were unique to me, and I read the comments of even more people relating, I don't feel strange or alien anymore. Thank you for creating the space for so many people to come together and bond over their shared humanity and not just feel normal about it, but good about it. Your work has reached quite abroad, given that I send this from Egypt.
First of all, it's not easy to read aloud. I used to get stressed in class.
Stressed me out. I felt like I was in front of the
I felt
class.
stressed as we did this. This is a beautiful message. I would print this out and put it in your studio.
Yeah.
Because this is a filter for you of like, it is very hard to look at all the different forces of YouTube, the force of viewership and credibility and social proof and dynamics of like, am I a big creator, right? It's like a hard question to ask yourself. And then when you see something like this, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing it for.
This is where it's brought so much clarity.
Yes.
just
I think
reading
you
this.
could put every idea through this filter of by the end of this video I'm about to make, or by the end of this project, is it going to make people feel not just normal about their shared humanity and about who they are, but is it going to make them feel good about it?
Yeah. So much of my thought over the last 6 months have been, all right, now how do we make that every 2 weeks? And I think I'm realizing now that that doesn't actually have to be the question. Because that is so hard to do, like taking a day trip to, whatever
I think
it is.
creators who make stuff every 2 weeks are like, you can do that if you're like a desk creator. Otherwise, no matter what, quality is gonna decrease.
Yeah.
To close this out, I think like we've built a lot of numbers to value ourselves as individuals, and especially as YouTube creators. We have a viewership number, a subscriber number, and a monetary number.
Mm-hmm.
And those tell us if we're doing anything.
Yeah.
But then you get one of those messages, and that message means way more than any of the numbers, right?
Absolutely.
And so then you realize, oh, okay, maybe actually I'm not measuring myself on these quantitative numbers, but a qualitative feeling that I'm giving people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's way harder to track, way harder to measure. But you just know that that's the thing.
And to hear it's from Egypt too, and like realizing that we're in this time and space right now where like I just click a button and like it is
reach
global.
people all over the world. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but this feels like the first time I've been able to talk to you two, like on camera. This has been the dream for as long as I've known you guys, which is probably like 5 years now.
That's true.
And this is an incredible honor.
Great.
Just to be with you guys here. And I really mean that.
Thank you, man.
You are two of my biggest mentors that I've ever had.
Appreciate you, Tejas. All right. Enough of that.
Cut that out.
Yeah,
Cut that part out, man. Cut that part out.
No, I appreciate
I'm
it.
not trying to have an uncomfortable conversation right now. What is this, Tejas' channel? All right, if you like this video of us workshopping Tejas' problem, you're probably gonna like this video right here. Check that out. All right, see ya.